This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Hot Georgia Rein by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 10, Henry. You shouldn't just walk across a busy street like that, I scold Ivy, as my way to act like I'm not hurt by her answer. I wanted her to admit that she shook her ass for me. I still think she did, but said she didn't to most likely fuck with me rather than tell me the truth. You shouldn't be telling a lady what she can and can't do, Ivy quips. I never told you you couldn't. I just said that you shouldn't, I correct. I always have. What's the difference? She teases, walking toward her father. Your precious cargo, I admit sheepishly. She sure is, Mr. Abney agrees. Hey, Papa, Ivy greets. Hey, Sweet Pea, Mr. Abney looks to me. How you holding up, boy? He asks when he releases Ivy from his embrace. Good, sir, thanks, I reply. Mr. Abney wraps his arms around me, embracing me like I'm a member of the family. I'm not so sure he'd be happy to hug me if he knew what I did to his daughter last night, and plan to do later. Henry's sweating bullets, Papa, Ivy teases. Yeah? Why so? Mr. Abney searches. Thought you might have been driving down the road with your shotgun aimed at him, Ivy giggles. I glower at her until Mr. Abney looks back at me. I offer a forced smile, hoping he'll not bother trying to find out why I was temporarily nervous. Now, why would I do such a thing? Mr. Abney asks. Oh, I don't know, Ivy muses. Might have been something to do with what Grady was claiming this morning. My eyes bug out of my head, not amused by her sass. Oh, pish-posh, Mr. Abney huffs. My little girl doesn't do those kinds of things. That's right, I choke out. How would you know what we're talking about? Mr. Abney pries with a grin. I mutter. I'll be outside waiting for you, Ivy. I rush toward the front, not enjoying how she trapped me. You should have seen your face, Ivy laughs, when she finds me leaning against the bank's brick wall a few minutes later. I swear, you were gonna piss yourself. Not funny, I say, yanking her toward me. I direct her around the back of the building, out of the way from passerbyers on the road, using some trees and brush to hide us. Ivy continues to giggle until I've got her pressed between me and the building. Aw, did I hurt your feelings? She teases. No, I lie. I just wasn't interested in your pa fucking me up today. Papa would never with you, she states with a proud smile. Remember? He likes you. Wasn't so sure about that after I broke his daughter's heart, I reply. Ivy's smile fades quickly. No one knows what happened, she states, looking down. Firefly, I call gently, running my fingers down her cheek. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I let out a huff. Fuck. Her green eyes return to mine, but their sparkle has faded. I hate knowing that I'm the cause of their dullness. Without caring, without thinking, I press my lips to hers. Ivy's mouth follows mine when I slowly peel away. Her soft, warm hand pulls my face back toward hers. I'm sorry too, she says when our lips part. For what? I ask stupidly. For teasing you, she answers. I know you don't like it. I lean in to kiss her again, but she blocks me. We need to go slow, she directs. A lot has happened. We need to know if this, whatever it is, will work. Yeah, I huff, hating that she's right. Plus, I don't want rumors about us, regardless of how it all turns out, she adds. I don't give a fuck about rumors, but I'll respect your wishes, I confirm. Thanks, she returns with a small smile before slipping out from between me and the building. Still no plans for today? I check, following her back across the street. None in particular, she replies. Why? I nod and an idea pops into my head. Ivy says she wants to take things slow, so that's what we'll do, and I know just how to do it. Come on, I call, grabbing her wrist and towing her behind me. Where? Ivy inquires, as her feet scurry to keep up. You'll see, I return, determined to surprise her. When we get to the ticket booth, Ivy whines. No. Yep, I affirm. No, she repeats. It's cheesy. We need cheesy right now, I say, paying for 2 tickets. I don't want to, she claims, walking away. I already bought the tickets, I insist, following her and then dragging her to the waiting area. Then pick up some random tourist and take her, she instructs, trying to get away. I don't want to, I challenge, getting a hold of her arm. We promised we'd never do any of the town attractions, she whines. We always went to the fair, I remind. The fair was different, she claims. You won't like the other option, I remark with a grin. Other option? She asks nervously. I offer a wicked smile and lean in real close. It's either the train or I carry you back to one of the cabin rentals and fuck you senseless to make up for all the years we've lost. I pull back just to see her reaction. The spark has returned to her eyes, making them shine like emeralds. Ivy's voice cracks before she's able to utter a word. Train. The train, she mumbles, clearing her throat. The train sounds like a great idea. Too bad, I reply, not stepping away from her body. She may be saying the word train, but I know her body is screaming for us to be together. Maybe another day. Ivy nods, unable to speak. We stand around, waiting for the next train to be brought to the station. Ivy keeps her distance while we wait and once we board, but I can feel how she's drawn to me and my body. She wants me. She needs me. It's just a matter of time before her body completely takes over and we're making love again. Ivy stares out the window most of the ride, which I don't mind. Strands of her dark hair whip around, dancing to their own seductive beat. Her lips are parted slightly, begging to be kissed and sucked. Her breasts bounce to every little bump in the track, making me harder by the second. Ivy's skin looks so smooth and flawless, I can't wait to have her naked and pressed against me again. Where do you want to eat? I ask her when the train lets us off at Cooper Hill for 2 hours. I know she's starving, and so am I. If I don't get something to eat, I'll be ripping off her clothes any second. Burgers sound good, Ivy says, pointing to one of the restaurants. I'm sure she's just as physically jacked as I am. There were a lot of people on the train, which caused us to have to sit close together. Even if there weren't many people, I would have still sat that close. I know it didn't help either of us when I'd trail a finger down her arm or up her bare leg toward the edges of her jean shorts. Ivy is the kind of woman who could wear any outfit and look sexy as hell. She could wear a garbage bag and still make me, or any other man, desire her. I love how I can still touch her in certain places like I used to elicit the perfect response. We might have changed over the years, but we haven't changed that much. I can tell when she's fighting with her body, not wanting to give in. Her nipples will poke through even her thickest of bras, goosebumps will rise on her skin, and her chest pulses a little more. Burgers, I confirm, sliding my hand across her hip and onto her ass. I know that we're safe from anyone knowing us here, so I can be more forward, physical, and playful. I hope that Ivy's up for some fun because I don't plan on keeping my hands off of her, let alone stop flirting. We sit opposite of each other in a booth, knowing that if we sit side by side, we'll fuck each other on the table, not caring who witnesses it. We have that effect on each other, and I fucking love it. I lean back in my side while Ivy hovers over the menu, trying to decide what to get. Just get the burger and fries, I suggest, knowing that's what she really wants. I should get a salad, she replies, not looking up at me. Doesn't matter what you eat, Firefly, I say, waiting for her gaze to lift. Anything you put in your mouth would turn me on. Do you know what you want? The older waitress asks, not bothering to tell us her name or see if we need a minute. A pop, a cheeseburger, well done, with fries, I answer with a smile. Ivy? No one calls it pop, weirdo, Ivy states. I say pop, I defend. That's because you're a weirdo, she claims. What you gettin'? The waitress asks. The same, she declares, but no pop, just water. Thank you. She hands the waitress her menu. Sure thing, the waitress says, offering a half smile before walking away. Ivy's quiet, so I give her a few to bounce back. I might have come on to her a little too much there with my last statement. She needs food to think and play. That's what she needs, and a good fucking too. Here you go, the waitress says, returning to our table a few minutes later with our drinks and some straws. Thank you, Ivy and I say at the same time. I take a long pull on my pop and watch Ivy sip her water. Even another man's cock, Ivy blurts out lowly. I choke and half of the soda that was in my mouth burns the back of my throat and into my nose. When I clean the excess that dripped down my chin off my shirt and the table, I find Ivy smiling proudly. What the fuck, Firefly? I ask, not understanding where her random comment came from. You said that anything I put in my mouth will turn you on, she reminds. So, I ask. So, I wanted to know even if another man's cock in my mouth would turn you on, she asks with a grin. You sure you want to play like that? I quip. You started it, she claims. When? I feign. Things going into my mouth turning you on, she reminds. You started it way before that, Firefly, I tease. When? She questions. When you told Tyrell he can do a shot off your body and wiggled that fine ass of yours, I state. My body jolts when I feel something suddenly poke me between my legs. I look down and find Ivy's bare foot in my lap, stroking my cock through my jeans. You sure you want to do that? Now? You can handle it, she teases. You've got about 2 seconds before I grab you and fuck you on this very table, I declare. Ivy's eyes widen and her foot retracts. I curse myself for the threat because I'd much rather have her touching me and a case of blue balls than not feel her at all. So, Ivy breathes out loudly. My gaze catches the movement of her thumb and index finger stroking up and down her straw. What have you been up to all these years? Ivy pries playfully. Fantasizing about you, I admit freely. Yourself? Ivy pauses before answering. College, work. That's it, I inspect. Maybe thinking about you, she adds bashfully. Maybe, I press. Or was it Davis, she goads. Watch your words, Firefly, I caution, biting back a grin. She smirks proudly, knowing she's getting to me. A comfortable silence falls between us, and we swap glances while we wait for our food to arrive. I take the wrapper from my straw, ball it up, and throw it at Ivy when she's not looking. Hey, she whines. What? I ask, pretending that I was already looking in another direction. You threw something at me, she claims, raising it up between her cute, tiny fingers. My mind goes to a dirty thought about sucking on her fingers before looking back over my left shoulder at some noisy kids. They must have done it, I state, jerking my head towards them. I wasn't born yesterday, Ivy returns snidely. I hope not, I say, 'cause that would be a little weird with the things I did to you last night and plan to do to you again. If I let you, she goads. If, I snort. 2 cheeseburgers, well done, and fries, the waitress announces, returning to our table. She adds a bottle of ketchup and mustard while Ivy and I thank her. I rejoice internally at the first bite of my burger, happy to have a temporary distraction from Ivy's body. It doesn't last long as I watch her mouth surround her food. My balls ache when I watch her suck her fingers. Fight fair, I instruct. Ivy smiles, slowly raising her gaze to meet my eyes. Never, she challenges. It's on, Firefly, I command, throwing a french fry. Oh, yummy, she says, picking it up. It's so big. Her eyes widen playfully as she slowly raises it to her mouth. I wonder if it tastes good. You know it does, I reply, just before she sinks her teeth into it, causing her to almost choke. That's hot, I chuckle. Me choking, she inquires. More so if it was you choking on my cock, I say. Really? She presses, wrinkling her brow. Yep, I confirm. Men and their weird fetishes, Ivy goads. What do you know about men and their fetishes, I inspect. Enough, Ivy replies. Enough? I question. Mm-hmm, she returns, stuffing another large fry into her mouth. I see how it's going to be, I state. What? Ivy feigns. I just smile, nod, and take another bite, letting her imagine what I might be thinking. After our meal, we walk around a bit, unsure of what to do or say other than our constant sexual innuendos. A few times, I'm able to pull her between buildings or behind a tree to kiss her again and let my hands roam her body as much as she'll let me. I allow Ivy to pull away most of the time, but not when one of her hands finds its way back to my cock. When she lets go, I let go. Ivy says she wants to get ice cream just before it's time to get back on the train. I oblige, but regret it as soon as I watch her licking the mound around the cone. I don't bother getting one and steal a few tastes of Ivy's. As we continue to ride the train, we're practically sitting on top of each other. I want you, I confess softly in her ear. Ivy doesn't reply, but I see a smirk forming on her lips. I take her hand and place it on my lap, slowly inching it toward my cock. Do you feel how bad I want you? I hum into her ear. Ivy nods. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link also in the description. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.